I wanted to make some old creepy spell books for our mantle, and here's how I did it. I went to Goodwill and found these old hardcover books in all different sizes. 2 of them are already black, so I just had to paint the edges, and yes, one of them is an old Twilight book. The other one I had to completely paint black, and I used a matte black paint. Once they were all dry, I laid them on the fabrics I was going to use to cut to size. I used burlap for the one and cheesecloth for the other 2. I left about a 2-inch overhang on each side so I had a little wiggle room. To dye them, I just used this RIT black dye, and I did not use gloves when I dyed it. Big regret, but is what it is. Whenever I was done, I just hung them to dry. And once they were dry, I mixed some Mod Podge and some black paint to get them to stick to the books. I just painted the entire cover and a little bit on the inside of the cover all around the edges. For the burlap one, I cut the excess off before I glued it so I wasn't left with so much bulkiness underneath the cover. Here's how they turned out. The burlap one turned out a little more copper than I wanted, so I went over it with some black paint just to give it a little bit of a darker look. The edges of the books were still a little bright, so I took a little black paint and went super lightly around them just to darken them up a bit. Here's how they turned out. They look super cute on my Halloween mantle.